cube.
Let's begin! Neverout is a puzzle game. Your main aim is to reach the exit door that is located somewhere in each room. The exit door could be on the ceiling or on a wall. Luckily, you can stick to the walls by simply walking into them. When you do collide with them, that wall will then become your floor. The movement system is set to a grid, so you move from one block to another. You can play with a DualShock or one move controller. Playing with the move controller is the worst way to play. To simply turn with it, you must hold down the move button and then swipe left or right. It does make it more time consuming to turn, and to be honest, there's no real reason to play with the moves as there isn't any handling of objects in the game. You do have control of the movement of some blocks though. These blocks are affected by gravity. When you make a wall your floor, that wall also becomes the block's floor, so gravity pulls it to the ground. To prevent the block from always landing on the same floor as you, there are ledges that you can make the block land on. This allows you to move the block along another part of the grid and gives you a new place to be able to climb onto. To help guide you with where the block should be placed are little red light switches. When a block passes over one, the block will stick to it and will no longer be affected by gravity. It's a very good design choice, because if you had no guidance at all, you really could get stuck for hours. It most probably looks quite confusing from this recorded footage, but once you're virtually inside the world, you really do get a good sense of where the block is and where it will land after you rotate the world. If you do forget its positioning and it lands on top of you, you will be crushed, which does come with quite a disturbing sound effect. Even near the end of the game, when I was quite used to the room's rotations, I did slip up a few times, and my death really did make me jump. Being flattened without warning is a strange sensation, and is really intensified by the fact that you're calmly thinking about how to solve the game's puzzles. Moving these blocks do make up a large portion of the game's puzzles, but there are different puzzle elements and threats that await you in other rooms. These can be accessed from a main hub area. This area appears after some tutorial levels that really are very basic, and for puzzle game fans can be quite laughable, but on the plus side, it does ease the puzzle mechanics onto you. The hub area has a few doors that you can enter. When going through one, it has a new series of rooms that come with new puzzle mechanics, such as teleporters that move you to a new position in the room, electric grids that you must navigate your way around, and spike traps that you must avoid. There isn't a massive amount of variety here, but each one does increase in difficulty, and some rooms include more than one puzzle element together. There also isn't too much variation visually when it comes to the rooms themselves. Sure, they do have different textures on the walls, but overall, they do all look quite samey. Some rooms have soft padded tiles, and some have metal ones. They do actually have very high quality textures on them, and different sound effects for when you walk over them. As you would expect, each room does have incredible depth due to them being quite closed in, and the image quality overall is very sharp. Although it lacks in a massive visual variety, it makes up for it in being quite immersive, especially as when you finally reach the exit door, there are no loading screens. Instead, you drop down into a little compartment very briefly as the next room loads, and then you're dropped into it. It's a very quick transition and ensures that you're kept in the world at all times. There is 60 rooms for you to beat. You'll always know which door in the hub area has rooms left for you to complete, thanks to lights that are seen coming out from it. It took me around 2 hours and 15 minutes to beat the game. Obviously, completion times will vary from person to person, especially with this type of puzzle game. The game does lack a storyline. The beginning simply has your eyes open and you're presented with the first room. It's not really an issue as it is a puzzle game, but a bit more explanation about the world it's set in and why you are there, especially in the end moments, would have made the hard work I had done a bit more satisfying. But at least I still had some trophies to show off for my effort. Some of the trophies are hidden on PSN, but I am going to show them anyway, as they don't really ruin the game. There's some here that are rewarded for beating the tutorial puzzles, as well as each of the puzzles found behind each door in the hub world. Some are rewarded for dying in certain ways, such as getting killed by a box and falling into a spike trap. I've never really understood trophies that reward you for dying, but thankfully they're not hard to get or grindy. Overall, it's a list that you would really expect from a game like this. Nothing more, nothing less. I did get this game in a sale recently, and it only cost me £3.99, and at that price, I really do think it was worth every penny. The game isn't going to blow you away, but it does succeed in making quite an enjoyable puzzle experience. The difficulty in the puzzles didn't really increase perfectly from room to room, as some were harder than the next, but oddly, I actually enjoyed the pacing, even though it did give me a fake sense of my puzzle solving skills improving. Some puzzles can get a bit tricky here, so it is certainly a game where taking a break and coming back to later can give your mind a reset. I did this on a few occasions and solved some of the puzzles nearly instantly when I returned. If you have seen the sci-fi horror film series called Cube, then you will feel right at home here. Just don't expect an in-depth storyline though, as it is all about the puzzles. But being able to experience a similar death trap in virtual reality isn't something a fan of the film should miss. Even if you enjoy puzzle games, it's a solid mind bender for a few hours.
26 rooms across.
17,576 rooms.
If you are a puzzle fan and do see this game floating around in a sale, it certainly could be worth checking out. I did quite enjoy it for what it is. If you found this review helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PSVR content.